So everybody knows that homemade ice cream is the best kind of ice cream, right? Well, my dad and my husband both agree that the flavor I'm going to share with you today is my best flavor yet. And I wish I had a catchy name for it. I don't. It's chocolate ice cream full of bits of toffee and roasted almond with a caramel drizzle. And let me tell you, it is divine. I'm going to make my ice cream using my KitchenAid stand mixer and my KitchenAid ice cream maker attachment. These are both essential to use the recipe that I'm going to share with you. I know a lot of my viewers have Ninja Creamies. I'm sure it can be adapted to that appliance. I'm just not familiar with it, so I'm no help there. So sorry. You will also need an insulated ice cream tub. My favorite perfectly holds one recipe of ice cream, plus it's super cute. And you're gonna need a great little ice cream scoop. All of the essentials I will link in the description box along with this recipe, so let's just get right into it. So let's get started by making our homemade ice cream base. It is super simple and it uses ingredients I'm sure you already have at home. So into a saucepan over medium-low heat, I'm going to add 1 1/4 cup of half and half cream. And I'm going to bring this up till it's warm and I can see steam coming off the cream, but I'm not going to boil it. And when I see steam, I'm going to turn off the heat. In the meantime, my stand mixer is ready. I'm going to drop in 5 egg yolks and 2/3 of a cup of sugar. And I'm going to let this combine on a slow speed until it's light and fluffy. Just going to give this a slight stir to make sure my cream doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. All we want to do here is heat it up. I can feel the heat coming off the pan, definitely getting warm. So I'm starting to see little bubbles form around the edge of the pan. I can see steam coming off of my cream, and so this is hot enough for me. So I'm going to turn off the heat here, and with my mixer on low speed, I'm going to very slowly pour in my warm cream. So I'm going to let the mixer run for just about 30 seconds, long enough to blend the ingredients together. Then I'm going to pour that liquid back into my warm pan, and we're going to heat this one more time until we see steam. So this will get hot pretty fast because the liquid was already warm to begin with. Yeah, I can definitely feel the heat, and we don't want to scald this. So I can tell by stirring this, it's starting to thicken up. I can feel it gathering on the end of my spoon. And I see steam, so I'm going to quickly get it off the heat. I know you all love my homemade ice cream recipe videos because I've already shared with you peanut butter brownie, how to make espresso ice cream, and strawberry ice cream. So many delicious flavors yet to come this summer. I'm always whipping up something new. And I will link those videos at the end of this video, so if you want to continue watching and get some other recipes, it's right there for you. So over to the side, I have a regular mixing bowl. And I'm going to pour my hot liquid into this bowl. And we're going to add in our flavor and some other ingredients. Add 1 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. A dash of regular table salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of Kahlua, let's just mix that really well here, and then we're going to add our cocoa powder. I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon and just see what this gets us. I'm going to go in with another tablespoon. And I'm adding a third tablespoon. So at this point in the video, I have a confession to make. I was distracted. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I knew I was making chocolate ice cream, but I forgot to add the cocoa powder in at the right point. So I added it at the end after I had already made and stirred my batter. And it turned out totally fine. In reality, the cocoa powder should have gone into the bowl when I was mixing my egg yolks and sugar together. That way the cocoa powder would incorporate pretty easy. When I added it in the end to all of that liquid, I had to really stir and stir and stir to get the cocoa powder dissolved. Regardless, it didn't affect the taste. It turned out delicious anyway. I just wanted to let you all know that if you're following my recipe, add it in with your eggs. So now that your ice cream base is made, you want to cover it with some tin foil or some plastic wrap and put it in your refrigerator. It needs to completely chill. It needs to be cold or you can't move on to the next step. You can continue on and make your ice cream that same day as long as you've made your base earlier in the day and it's totally chilled. Honestly, for me, I like to make my base the day before I'm going to make my ice cream. That way it's, not so much to do. I know that my base is totally chilled through and my ice cream will churn a lot faster. And honestly, it's a lot better when you do it that way. So now we're going to churn our ice cream. This is the super important part. So I'm going to seat my KitchenAid ice cream maker attachment onto my stand mixer. The little churning feature just drops right in. It really is super simple to put on. And because my ice cream maker is made by KitchenAid, all the pieces and parts fit together perfectly. You want to turn your stand mixer on the stir speed, which is level 1 or 2. You want it to be running pretty slow, and you definitely want the churner going before you start to very slowly pour your chilled ice cream batter into the mixing bowl. If you pour your batter in without the churner going, there's a really good chance it's going to instantly freeze and not turn properly. So make sure you have your stand mixer going first and pour your batter in really, really slow. And you're going to let this continue to churn for 2 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 minutes until you can see the batter starting to get thick. In the meanwhile, I'm getting out my ingredients that I'm going to add into my churning ice cream. I love roasted and salted almonds. Where I get them at my grocery store, I can only find them whole, so I like to put them in a baggie and just crush them up using a meat mallet. I have my favorite jar of caramel ready to go, and then a bag of crushed Heath bar toffee bits. So you can see that my ice cream is starting to thicken up. It's starting to kind of overgrow my ice cream maker. And so I'm going to very slowly and just little bits at a time put in some of my toffee bits. And then I'm going to put in some of my roasted almonds. And I'm not putting in everything that I chopped up. It is not a bunch. I'm just eyeballing this. I don't really have a quantity for you. Just add some of the ingredients, not the caramel, just the toffee and the almonds into the churning ice cream and do it slowly so it doesn't seize up your churner. Continue to churn your ice cream for about 12 minutes total until it starts to get thick and creamy and overgrow your ice cream churner. Then you want to turn it off. Make sure to scrape down that paddle really, really good because you want to keep every bit of that ice cream, and then get out your insulated ice cream tub. And I'm just going to scoop from the ice cream maker into the tub. I'm going to kind of break up my ice cream into 2 halves. I'm going to put half in and then kind of take my spoon and spread it out so that it's even in my tub. And I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit of my Heath toffee bits and a little bit more of my toasted and roasted and so delicious and salty almonds. And I'm going to drizzle in a little bit of my favorite gooey caramel. Just a little bit. We don't need a ton of this. And when you go to scoop out your ice cream, every scoop is going to have just a ribbon of that delicious caramel. Whoa, so good. Then I'm going to repeat what I just did using the rest of my ice cream. Just kind of layer it in. And when you're putting it in your ice cream tub, you don't want to run your spoon through it. You don't want to stir it up. You want to kind of dollop everything in there so that when it freezes and you go to scoop it, you can clearly see all of your yummy ingredients that are inside the ice cream. Smooth out the top. See, one recipe filled up my tub perfectly, and then sprinkle on a little bit more toffee and a little bit more of those almonds, and then put a really good, beautiful, long drizzle of caramel. So after you have all of your ice cream layered in your insulated tub, you want to put this in the freezer for several hours, 3 or 4. It's still going to be, after just that amount of time, on the softer side, a little bit of a soft serve, well, thicker than soft serve, but a little bit of a soft consistency. And honestly, we love it at that consistency. If you like your ice cream harder, you're gonna need to have it in the freezer for probably a couple more hours before it gets to that thickness. The ice cream flavor is ooey and gooey, thick and chocolatey, full of chocolate covered toffee bits, salted and roasted almonds with the caramel drizzle. It is to die for. So I know you all are going to make this chocolate ice cream, and when you do, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Come back to this video and let me know what you think, because everybody in my family gave this recipe 10 stars, double thumbs up, and said it was my best ice cream yet. See you in the next one.